This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E. Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts we do. We also do Locked On 49ers and the Locked On Warriors shows as well. But tonight, the Giants took down the A's 6-2 and win the three-game series out in Sacramento. Willy Adames delivered again at the dish. I told you guys last night he had really turned a corner, and man, did he deliver again tonight. Another home run and three more RBI. And Luis Matos also joined in, swatted a key double to crack open a big inning for the Giants. And also, Tyler Fitzgerald had some fun with the home run party he and Willy Adames were having. But Fitz's home run was rather hilarious and made us think of a former A that I'm sure plenty of others thought while you were seeing that play unfold. Shades of Jose Canseco and Hayden Birdsong also picked up the win despite being a little wild on the mound, and three Giants selected to the All-Star game. Big show tonight, a lot to break down. We'll get to it all. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always does a great job. And today, this one was a little weird just because of the start time. It's the only game that starts at 7:05 on a Sunday all season long. So kind of a little weird start time for the Giants today. But it didn't throw off this offense or Willy Adames, because Willy Adames has been red hot lately. The one guy on this Giants team who really does not want to see the All-Star break because he has just been so hot at the plate. He just if I'm Willy Adames, I just want to keep playing every single damn day, find a way to get some cuts in, because when it's going good, it's going good for him. Picks up another hit today, the one hit being a home run. And he also had two walks to drive in two other runs. That's kind of funny. He had two RBIs off of walks today. First one came in that first inning. And really, I thought Willy Adames had some great at-bats. And I think the walks are key to note, because this is a guy who was swinging and missing at everything early in the season. And he was swinging at absolute garbage, like stuff that was a foot or two outside of the strike zone, like breaking balls that looked out of the hand like they were a ball. And Willy Adames was still swinging at that junk. And now he looks like he's having much more competitive at-bats. He's laying off those, even when the ball is in the strike zone, but it's not a pitch that he wants. He's not trying to chase it and do too much with it. And that's a thing that we saw from Willy Adames all through the first half of this season. That he was chasing stuff, he was pressing, really trying to just be a hero, deliver. You know that he sees all the chatter from Giants fans out there about how he's underperformed, how they paid him all this money, and fans have been unhappy, and you know he hears it. And for him to turn around a season the way he's been doing it lately, hats off to him, because there's a lot of guys who can't do that. And once you start going down, you just don't have the ability to turn it around. You can't get off the sinking ship. But for Willy Adames, he has really, really turned his season around. And another 3 RBIs tonight. I am very impressed with his at-bats lately. He looks so much more balanced at the plate, looks like he has a plan of attack, and looks like he's hunting pitches that he can drive. And he almost did a second home run in this game tonight, and he didn't even get all of that second one, hence why it didn't go out of the park, but he still gave it a pretty solid ride. Nice warm weather out in Sacramento for the ball to carry on this early July summer evening. And it's been that way all series long, and that ballpark is pretty small. So you do have to wonder how much of this resurgence from, not just from Willy Adames, but this whole Giants lineup through this series, save for that 4th of July game, has been very fun, honestly, to watch. And that's kind of weird for me to say, because usually this offense is painful to watch. But tonight, 6 runs, they had 9 hits, and you saw the Giants, their last 3 wins that they've had, they've all been pretty comfortable wins, non-save situations where the Giants were able to generate a big lead early on and just kind of coast through the end of the game, like not torturous wins. We aren't familiar with this as Giants fans, but I'll tell you what, it's been nice, like easy, comfortable watching, like when the Giants go up big and you know this bullpen's as good as it is, so they can kind of just slam the door shut. And it's been nice these last couple wins watching the Giants be ahead by as much as they have been. And I did want to see them crack open that first inning a little bit more. Luis Matos came up after Willy Adames had walked in a run, and he swung at ball four. Would have been another walk for the Giants in that inning to score another run. But eventually, he settled back in and delivered in the fifth inning. By the way, the A's at one point in time, the starter Lopez struck out 7 consecutive Giants. He was cruising for a little while there, going into the fourth inning when he gave up another run of just his second run of the game, but it was a Willy Adames big fly to center field, and that one 102.4 miles an hour off the bat and 432 feet. It was a big boy bomb from Willy Adames, and you love to see that if you're a Giants fan. This guy has really started to turn the corner, and he's been playing great defense as well. This is what the Giants paid for in the offseason, and you're seeing it come to fruition now. Meanwhile, later on, I should say, in the fifth inning, the Giants cracked this one open. They scored 3 runs in that fifth inning, and Willy Adames had another RBI walk in the inning. And then Luis Matos, after he struck out earlier on in a similar situation, delivers a great swing on a ground rule double, a ball that he inside outed into that right center field gap. And you know Matos is a guy who can drive the ball the other way. And Lopez was just living on the outer third of the plate today. Matos knew it. Looked like he was looking for that pitch on the outside of the plate, and he drove that thing into the gap. Great piece of hitting. I like the way that they were able to use Matos against a left-hander and give Jung-Hoo Lee the day off. Jung-Hoo Lee is a guy who we all want to see succeed here with the Giants, but as of late, he has not been playing super well. Looks like he's pressing. He's never played this many games this quick before. I mean, you have a lot more off days in the KBO. You have a lot more. Obviously, he didn't play very much last season, so he didn't have the number of games as quick as they've come in the Major League season for him this year. So it is a bit of an adjustment, and he looks like a guy who could really use the All-Star break. The way that Willy Adames doesn't want to see the All-Star break, Jung-Hoo Lee is just praying for that thing to come as quick as it can right now. And ultimately, the Giants offense, they're sitting in a good spot right now because they're going in to this series against the Phillies with a nice little bit of momentum. The offense looks like it's in a good spot. You do go back to Oracle Park where obviously the ball has not been flying the same way at Oracle Park as it has been on this in these last couple games of this road trip as it did in Arizona and in Sacramento. But hopefully Willy Adames is able to keep things rolling. You're able to get some home cooking and keep scoring some runs. The Giants, as I said, 9 total hits today. And one more big swing of the bat we should talk about came in the 8th inning. Top of the 8th inning, Tyler Fitzgerald hits his 3rd home run of the season. But man, he had a little bit of help on this one because he lifted this one to left. And he got some help from the left fielder who reached up. And it wasn't quite complete Jose Canseco for Soderstrom out there in left field. Ball didn't hit off his noggin, but it did bounce off his glove and over that left field wall. Pretty comical thing to watch if you're a Giants fan. If you're an A's fan, that's just about how your season has been going these last, not just this year, but these last couple of years. 37-55 on the season for the A's. They're in last place in the AL West. The Giants, meanwhile, pick up their 49th win of the year. Still in 3rd place in the NL West, but 49-42. It's pretty solid. 7 games over 500, and you're starting to creep back into that wild card conversation, which at this point in the season, you do kind of keep an eye out on those standings, even though you've got a lot of baseball left to play, damn near half the season left still. These games are starting to matter more and more and more and more, and you have to win the games that are winnable. And obviously, I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer kind of statement, but the Giants have been playing down to their competition a lot lately, right? Like they got swept by the Marlins. They lost the series to the White Sox. If they had also lost the series to the A's, would feel really bad. But even though it was only a 2-1 series win, it wasn't a sweep of the A's, which would have been really nice. It was still what the Giants needed in order to get the ball rolling a little bit, going back home. They end up salvaging this road trip to go 5-5 on this 10-game road trip. And now you get back home and you get to see what's going for you at Oracle Park. And you know that the pitching staff always gets a little bit of a lift there, and man, do they need it. Because even though Hayden Birdsong had a pretty solid game today, he was very, very wild. It was a mixed bag from him on the mound, despite only giving up 1 run, and we'll get into that next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. And with Monarch, it's so easy to see where I can improve financially across all aspects of my life. For instance, Monarch made it so obvious that I was spending entirely too much money on eating out every week. Now I budget smarter, use my kitchen more, and save a little bit more money. And my bank account is a little bit happier. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, the Giants get it done in Sacramento. I still feels weird to say. A's should be in Oakland still. We've talked about that a couple times on this during this series, but man, it feels good for the Giants to get a series win under the belt. It's been a little while since they've been able to do that, and thankfully, Birdsong had a decent game today. I mean, he was a little wild. That's kind of an understatement. He threw a ton of pitches that were not very close to the strike zone. Through 90 pitches, only 46 of them were strikes. He was really missing his location a lot today. That was hanging a lot of breaking balls, but the A's were helping him out a lot by swinging and missing his stuff that was not anywhere close to the strike zone. So Hayden Birdsong had enough of that swing and miss stuff going that he was able to muster 5 innings and only gave up 1 run somehow. That 1 run coming on a homer that he gave up. And it looked overall pretty good. I mean, swing and miss stuff was working. Like I said, 6 strikeouts, and he did walk 5 though. And that's the thing with Birdsong is his walk rate has been a little bit of an issue all season long. His walk rate sitting around 10.4%, bottom 20 percentile of the major leagues. And this is kind of what Hayden Birdsong has been for the Giants this year. He's been a really good strikeout guy who gets wild at a certain point in the game. It's almost predictable that he's going to at some point just kind of blow up with his command. And that happened again today, but he was able to kind of regain form a little bit. He had to labor through some of those last couple innings he pitched, but ultimately good enough to get his 4th win of the season. He moves to 4-3 on the year. And this feels a lot better than it has been the last couple Hayden Birdsong starts. This is the fewest runs that he's gave up since the 1st of last month, since the 1st of June, when the Giants beat the Marlins 4-2 in Miami, not when they got swept by them at Oracle Park. But the last several starts for Birdsong, he's given up. The home run trend continues. He's now given up a home run in 5 consecutive starts, so that's not very good. But we know this guy is a fly ball strikeout pitcher. That's how he profiles. Similar to Robbie Ray, he's gonna give up some bombs every now and again. But ultimately, like I said, good enough to get it done. Hayden Birdsong is another guy like Jung-Hoo Lee who cannot wait for this all-star break to come. He needs to kind of just get his mentals right, take a little bit of time, rest that arm, and hopefully get back to what he was at the beginning of the season when he was really lights out in his first couple starts. Obviously, he was really great out of the bullpen before he was moved back into the starting rotation. But really, in order for that to happen, those secondary pitches got to start working again, because when that changeup has been working, it's been really effective. When that slider has been working, it's been really effective. When they stop working, that hanging slider looks like a meatball, just a cement mixer right down the middle. Or like today, he missed several times way high with that slider, or throwing scud missiles in the dirt. I mean, it just seems like he couldn't find his release point on that slider, and he couldn't tame it. It didn't really look like it was sliding too much either. He threw it 14 times tonight, and it was hit pretty hard ultimately when he did throw it. So, I mean, the slider wasn't great. The curveball also got hit pretty hard tonight as well. So ultimately, Birdsong needs to figure out how to get those secondary pitches locked in again, because when he has them going, is a very, very formidable opponent. And especially that changeup, man. He threw it 20 times tonight. And I really do like the way that pitch moves, the way that he's developed it when he's controlling it. But it just seems to be inconsistent with his ability to harness it. And same with that curveball and that slider lately. He also threw 2 slurves, which was interesting. Not a pitch you see him throw very often. Filled it up with 37 four-seamers, 41% of what he threw today. And the four-seam fastball was pretty effective. He had a 23% whiff rate, and he didn't have a ton of super hard hits against that four-seam fastball. Average exit velo of 91.9 miles an hour against that four-seamer. So pretty solid day with the fastball. But that's never been the question. For Hayden Birdsong, it's about the secondary pitches. And it's really, if he can get 2 of the 3 secondary pitches that he has over the plate for strikes, this guy changes into a different type of pitcher. If he can command those pitches, he ends up getting, I mean, we've seen him rack up double-digit strikeouts a couple times in his early career. And that's the kind of stuff that this guy can produce if those other pitches are working. When they're not, you get what you saw tonight, which is still some good swing and miss stuff, but a lot of walks, man, and a lot of just non-competitive pitches that are balls out of the hand. Like you can, if you're in the batter's box, you can immediately see that some of those pitches are, a couple feet out of the strike zone, either too low or too high or too wide, and he's missing all over the place. So not the best night from Hayden Birdsong, but he mitigated that damage. He does deserve some credit for dancing around the 8 base runners he gave up in his 5 innings of work tonight. But hey, like I said, a win's a win. You'll take him where you can get him right now. And for Hayden Birdsong, you definitely were looking for a win because his last 4 outings, the Giants had lost all 4 of those games. He goes 5 innings tonight, which is the longest that he's been able to go since the 12th of last month against Colorado, where the Giants still lost that game, even though Hayden Birdsong pitched pretty well in 6 innings of work in that one. But overall, like I said, pretty solid night. You'll take the win. You'll take the A's gifting Hayden Birdsong some of those strikeouts tonight because they were really swinging at a lot of stuff that was not close. It's just kind of how the A's have been going this year. It's unfortunate. I think the league is better. It's definitely more fun in this region of California when the A's are better, and this rivalry can become more of a rivalry again than it has been these last couple of years. Both teams got to be winning games for it to be a fun rivalry, and it hasn't really been both teams winning these games. So Giants win this one 6-2. Solid win for the Giants. And before we get on out of here, we got to mention the Giants 3 all-star selections, and you can't be upset about this. Robbie Ray, Logan Webb, and Randy Rodriguez all selected for the all-star team. Those were the 3 guys I've really been banging the drum for. They're the 3 guys that I've been making sure to get my votes in for every single night, like all of you hopefully we're doing as well. And Webby, come on, we knew Webby deserved it. Robbie Ray, very happy for the guy that he was able to get his 2nd all-star berth in his career. I think that's pretty solid. For him, kind of surprised he hasn't made more all-star teams, but Randy Rodriguez is probably the guy that I'm most excited about to make the all-star team this season. The first non-closer that's also a reliever in Giants history to make the all-star team. And he has, I'm pretty sure he's got the lowest ERA for all relievers in all of the major leagues. He is very, very, very electric this year. He's been the go-to guy with runners on base, the oh no button, the big red button that Bob Melvin's got to push when things are going wrong for the starter and you got traffic on the bases and you need someone to come in with less than 2 outs and runners in scoring position. It's Randy Rodriguez. And you feel pretty confident almost every time he's on the mound that he's going to be able to wiggle out of these jams. He's rewarded for his phenomenal season that he's had this year. And I couldn't be happier for the guy. I mean, he will be able to carry that title all-star with him for the rest of his life, the rest of his career. And as I said, he deserves it. 0.69 ERA, 0.69 ERA this late into the season. That's pretty damn nice, if you ask me. Shout out Randy Rodriguez. Shout out Logan Webb. Shout out Robbie Ray. All so deserving of the honor of all-star for the San Francisco Giants this season. I knew he wasn't going to make it, but Elliot Ramos, sad that he couldn't have had a bigger first half. I was really hoping that we would get at least one position player in there this season, but we'll take the 3 pitchers. That's really been the strength of the Giants all season long, and that's the best way to represent this team in the All-Star game, and especially the bullpen. Having a representative for this bullpen, I think, was really important for the Giants, just for the league to recognize that, because this has been one of the best bullpens in all of baseball this season. Even though last month was a bit of a hiccup, they have been very, very, very solid all year long, and you love to see it. You love to see it. It's all the time that we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Giants postcast. Giants take this one 6-2 over the A's, and they win this series in Sacramento. Still feels so weird to say out in Sacramento. You'll take it where you can get it. Giants needed this one, 49-42 on the season. Up next is the Philadelphia Phillies as the Giants return home to Oracle Park. We'll be coming to you live after tomorrow night's game, as we always do here on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.